To the naked eye, the fastball seems straightforward. The pitcher rears back and throws the baseball toward home plate as hard as humanly possible, relying entirely on raw strength to overpower the batter. Stand in the batter's box facing a 95-mile-per-hour pitch, and you have about 400 milliseconds to decide whether to swing. But something strange happens at the highest levels of the game. Hitters consistently swing their bats completely underneath high-velocity pitches, swearing that the ball physically jumped upward over their barrel right before crossing the plate. In baseball dugouts, this optical illusion is famously referred to as riding life, or simply the rising fastball. The problem with that label is that gravity applies to everything on the field. A human arm cannot generate enough upward force to make a baseball defy gravity and ascend mid-flight. The ball is constantly falling on its way to the catcher. Raw speed alone cannot explain why a professional hitter perceives an upward jump. The actual mechanism that deceives the brain is dictated by how the ball spins. The most common variation is the four-seam fastball. The pitcher takes their indexed and middle fingers and lays them directly across the wide part of the horseshoe-shaped seams. At the exact moment of release, the pitcher's fingers pull down hard on those raised seams, sending the ball toward the plate with intense backspin. This diagram illustrates the fluid dynamics of a spinning baseball. The rapid backspin triggers the Magnus effect, which drags the air over the top of the baseball faster than the air moving underneath it. According to Bernoulli's principle, this difference in airspeed creates a pressure differential, building higher pressure directly beneath the ball. That high pressure creates an upward aerodynamic lift force that pushes back against gravity. This lift force isn't strong enough to make the ball ascend, but it counteracts gravity just enough that the ball drops less than the batter expects, causing their bat to swing straight through empty air. Pitchers manipulate these aerodynamic forces by shifting their fingers a fraction of an inch to create an entirely different pitch. For the two-seam fastball, or sinker, the pitcher rotates the ball to place their fingers parallel to the narrow seams. By applying slightly more pressure with the index finger upon release, they force the ball to spin on a tilted axis. This 3D trajectory model compares the flight paths of the two pitches. The tilted axis corrupts the upward lift, causing the ball to lose its righting action. Instead, it tails inward and drops sharply downward, leading hitters to roll over the top of the pitch for weak ground balls. Alternatively, shifting the fingers slightly off-center toward the outside of the baseball creates the cutter. The pitcher pulls down on the side of the ball, imparting a bullet-like spin while retaining high velocity. Out of the pitcher's hand, the cutter looks identical to a standard fastball, but that unique spin causes it to dart sideways toward the pitcher's glove side at the last second, jamming opposing hitters and destroying their bats. Moving a finger by 2 millimeters alters the air pressure surrounding the baseball, creating a completely distinct physical trajectory by the time the pitch crosses the plate. The fastball serves as the foundation for how the entire sport is played. Every other strategy on the diamond relies on the baseline established by this single pitch. Pitchers deploy the opposing physics of the riding four-seamer and the dropping two-seamer to relentlessly alter the batter's eye level and disrupt their swing plane. Because the fastball is the easiest pitch to control, pitchers use it to establish the zone early in an at-bat, allowing them to easily throw strikes and force the hitter into a defensive position. Once a pitcher repeatedly throws a 95-mile-per-hour fastball for a strike, they lay a psychological trap. They condition the batter's internal timing clock to anticipate that exact speed. Then comes the payoff. The pitcher mimics the exact same violent arm motion, but releases an 82-mile-per-hour changeup. The batter's conditioned brain commits to the swing early, leaving them swinging blindly at empty air. The fastball operates as an engineered aerodynamic tool. By mastering the physical forces that control how a ball moves through the air, a pitcher hijacks the batter's perception, setting up every other trick in the game.